Okay. Hi, hello, welcome back, everybody. Sorry for being gone for a while. I've been busy. He's been busy. We had holidays and stuff. NFL football is over. NBA, NHL, they're in the middle of their seasons currently. Hopefully the Chicago Blackhawks can finish this up, make a playoff spot. Hopefully the Bulls can win a play-in game. Bulls made a bunch of trades, but end of the show. I'm gonna reference this real quick. Bulls made a bunch of trades, and to be quite honest, they don't have a plan. Everyone hated GarPax, but to be quite honest, I'm convinced everyone would rather have GarPax currently as the team management than what they got right now. They don't have a plan at all. They made all these trades, and they still don't have a legitimate impact player, and they're brutal to watch. And if they were playing 6, 7, 8 years ago, they would never even be in playoff contention at all. But because the play-in game nonsense going on, and they still can't win big games. The Blackhawks, I hope they can do well. I hope they make playoffs in the 100th anniversary. But anyway, NFL football season is over. Super Bowl was here. Seattle has participated in the, the fourth Super Bowl that they played in? Because they've won 2 now. Because they got there with Matt Hasselbeck, they lost. They got their so this is the fourth. This would be the 4th Super Bowl game that they played in.
How many they've actually had.
And it was the 50th anniversary for the Seattle Seahawks. Sam Darnold is Super Bowl champion. And we have you have the paper. Can you get that to me?
Which paper?
The one about the Super Bowl quarterbacks.
You have it over there.
Oh, I'm sorry. Do you want to...
No, you can.
Okay, anyway, because there's a lot of people listed here. So how many Super Bowls have there been?
60.
So there's been 60 Super Bowls.
And what I did was I wrote down, because everybody says you need a quarterback. My point is, you don't need a quarterback. And I got the data to prove it.
Well, I'm going to show this. Look at all the names here. Look at all the names here, people. Goes a little bit on the back.
There are 60 pairs of starting quarterbacks who have gone to the Super Bowl. My point is, you don't need a quarterback.
Well, I'm looking at this now. Stars played in 2. Bart Starr played in 2. Dawson played in 2. Bob Greasy played in 3. Bradshaw played in 4. He won 4.
Yeah, but I'm looking at...
Yeah, no, I know, but I want to reference this as well.
Okay. Of course you're going to have somebody decent.
Well, yeah.
But both teams... But it's rare that both teams have a good quarterback. That's my point. When I made that, I wanted to see which team had a garbage quarterback that made it to a Super Bowl. Yes, the Stars and the Dawsons, and they are in there.
Tony Eason.
Thank you.
Kerry Collins versus Trent Dilfer.
Thank you.
You had, who else? You had Drew Bledsoe before he punctured a lung.
Correct.
Who else? You had John Elway in the final seasons of his...
But who did he play against?
Well, he played against Favre, and then... Well, he played against Favre, and then he played against Chandler from... Chris Chandler.
Chris Chandler made it to a Super Bowl.
Brad Johnson.
Brad Johnson made it to a Super Bowl.
And Brad Johnson versus Rich Gannon, and they were both cast-offs.
That's the point of that list.
Joe Flacco versus Colin Kaepernick. You had Brady. He played in 10 of them, but Brady played against Jake Delhomme. He played against Matt Ryan. Matt Ryan got there, never made it back. Delhomme got there, never made it back. Peyton Manning versus our guy Rex Grossman. Grossman got hurt twice. And the 1 year that Grossman got there, that was the one season he didn't get injured. Jimmy Garoppolo versus Patrick Mahomes. You had Jared Goff versus Brady. Goff has yet to make it back. Brady versus Wilson, and people say Russell Wilson's never going to make the Hall of Fame now. Wilson's playing himself out of the NFL.
Because my point, okay, is I have been critical on Caleb Williams, and my point is you don't need a quarterback to get to a Super Bowl.
You need a team.
And I'm proving it here with this list of individuals. That's my point. I think I got there quick enough.
When Matt Stafford was in Detroit, people were criticizing the guy religiously. He left, the first year he left with the Rams, a decent team where he's got more people around him. First year he went to the Super Bowl. Out there in Detroit, I mean. This year it was Drake May versus Sam Darnold. And there were national media outlets crucifying the two of them.
And if you're looking at that 60,
prior to this game,
and if you're looking at that 60, there are multiple people on that list of the 60 to make up the 60. Like Brady's been on there 10 times.
Bradshaw's
been on there
4 times.
Well, he won.
And he's been on this.
So three guys we just mentioned have made up of 1/3 of the Super Bowl quarterbacks. Okay, granted, they dominated. Okay. But then the other half, their other opponents, there's garbage. Vince Ferragamo's on that list.
Is this John Unitas versus Craig Morton?
Yes. What year?
1970. And the Dallas Cowboys wanted Craig Morton gone.
Craig Morton was the backup to Staubach. Yes.
Plunkett versus Ron Jaworski.
Yeah. That's headline material, right? You don't need. Again, my point. Yes, Caleb Williams had 3,900 yards passing. He didn't get 4,000. And then you people out there, if you're going to watch it, you go, well, he had 4,000 and he used the playoffs. No, he didn't. I'm going regular season stuff. He had 3,900.
I got one for you. Jeff Hostetler won the Super Bowl, and he only played 5 games.
Yes.
Because Phil Simms got hurt.
Yes. And Caleb Williams, another thing, and because I'm going to shut up about Caleb Williams, my point is he made 3 points on the show, on his podcast, or not his podcast, the podcast that he was on with Max Crosby, because everybody thinks that they're chumming up and Max Crosby is going to come to the Bears. But his 3 points were, and I'm going to get to them, were number 1, he wants to be a more accurate quarterback. Viewers, Caleb Williams was 58%. He was the lowest percent completion quarterback in the NFL. 2, he wants to have better pre-game or pre-snap command, meaning he's going to have to recognize things a little sooner. And number 3, this is the most ridiculous one. He wants to outscore the Peyton Manning era of when Peyton Manning was at Denver. Those were his 3 points. That's what he wants to improve for next year. He didn't say we as a team need to win one more game than we got. We don't need to take a step back. There was no we's. There was me. There's my point.
Boomer Esiason versus Joe Montana. The Redskins won 3 Super Bowls with 3 different quarterbacks. Only one of them is a big name. And those 3 are Joe Theismann, who went to Notre Dame, Mark Rippon, and Doug Williams.
See, these are my points all during a round, but, you know...
The Patriots lost a Super Bowl to Nick Foles.
But people say that I ramble and I don't get to the point. I got stats every week I'm out here. That's the point.
Kurt Warner went to University of Northern Iowa. No one wanted him. And he had to play in arena football. And he played against Steve McNair. Oh, correction. Warner played in 2 Super Bowls. Who's Sam Humphries? I've never heard of him. He played against Steve Young.
He started a Super Bowl game.
It's S. Humphreys. It's
Stan Humphries.
okay. And then after him, it was Neil O'Donnell.
Thank you.
And then after him, it was Bledsoe. And Bledsoe was good, but Bledsoe did not have a good ending to
Again,
his career.
I'm going to get right to the point because I've been told I ramble a lot. Get to the point. You don't need a quarterback, a great quarterback, to get to a Super Bowl. That's why I'm saying the Bears gave up and mortgaged the farm and for Caleb Williams. And you know what? They won 11 games. They made it to the playoffs. And you know what? He has to do better than he did this year, next year. And if he don't, he's an epic failure.
I know John Elway is a Hall of Famer, and John Elway played in 5 Super Bowls. And I know that you got your opinions about John Elway, but truth be told, Elway didn't win the Super Bowl until the final 2 seasons. Does that kind of hinder? I don't want to be that guy.
I don't know. We bring this up all the time. Jim Kelly's never gone to 4 in a row, and he never won one.
Never won
So,
one.
so you got to use Jim Kelly in the same breath as John Elway.
Dan Marino got there, and he never got back. He lost, and he never got back.
So, I've always tried to get that answer out of you. Does Jim Kelly suck because he never won a Super Bowl?
I never said he sucked.
Okay.
He never won the Super Bowl.
Okay.
Now, I got a list here of great quarterbacks who never played in the Super Bowl, and that's Rivers, Warren Moon, Dan Fouts, Jay Cutler, Tony Romo.
Never even played.
Never even played in it.
So this, my point is, you don't need a quarterback. You don't need a one-player quarterback to get to a Super Bowl.
Well,
you need 11 bodies on offense and 11 bodies on defense.
Well, Phillip Rivers got to the AFC Conference game. He lost to the Patriots in 2000.
But I put Phillip Rivers on that list because eventually Phillip Rivers is going to get in the Hall of Fame.
No, I know. But Jay Cutler got to the conference title game and he got injured. And Romo, if he doesn't fumble the snap, he probably plays in a Super Bowl. Like no. My point being, just like one play, one injury, or just running into a great team that just hinders everything.
And I'm going to say, and again, I'm not going to shut up after this. All you people who out there who don't think I'm a Bear fan, I am. You know what? If the Bears don't make 4 plays,
Yeah, they don't win.
not 4 games, 4 plays in the season that were lucky as hell plays.
And
the blocked field goal in the Oakland game, the onside kick in the Green Bay at the last game that they got the ball back.
The comeback in Cincinnati.
The comeback in Cincinnati, and I was there in person, and I'm going to go one step further.
The Jake Moody game in Washington for the Redskins, when he had to kick the 3 field goals.
Well, that was when the fumble was made at the 50-yard line by Washington. 4 plays. The Bears go from 11-6, 11-5, and they lose those 4 games. They go to 7-10. They don't make the playoffs, and that was my prediction, 7-10. That is my point. So all you people who think that the Bears just ran up the score on people.
So you're 4 plays away from being basically correct in what you said.
Exactly what they were last year.
So if those 4 things don't happen.
Yes! And I get yelled at
That's
all
scary.
the time.
That's actually pretty freaky. Pretty scary, actually, not going to lie.
Not 4 games, people. 4 plays. If Green Bay lays on top of the ball before that game goes into overtime on that onside kick, they win.
Okay, the best one here right now on this list right now, I would say would be Joe Montana versus Dan Marino, or Eli Manning versus Tom Brady.
We could go on and on with that, but we got to talk about some other things as well. But that's our NFL conclusion. You will not hear me say much more until the Bears get into training camp. All I'm saying is that the slurpage of Caleb Williams, I'm putting him feet to the fire. He has to be better than 11 wins next year. And if you already saw their schedule, it's going to be very difficult for them to win 11 games. All right? NFL conclusion done. Super Bowl was boring. Quickly, point, how didn't the kicker from Seattle not be the MVP?
He broke the record for field goals.
But,
He was the only reason why they won the game,
okay, he didn't get in.
in all fairness.
He didn't get in. One more thing about NFL. Can't get away from this. Everybody ragged on New England's record. New England's record outside of the conference, because you got to play your conference games. And they got to play the Jets, who suck, and they had to play Miami, who sucked, and they had to play Buffalo. Their outside record was 69 wins and 118 losses. That's terrible.
That's the Patriots' opponents'
Yes.
all-time record for this season.
For this year. Because everybody was saying how weak the Patriots' opponents were.
Run that to the audience again.
Okay. In conference, they were 23 and 29. Their conference record was even below 500. And their overall outside conference record of their opponents, meaning they played shitty teams, were 69 and 118.
Okay.
Okay. There was crickets talking about the Bears' record and their opponent's record.
Oh, well, we know that very well.
77 and 109. My point is...
Is that one tie also?
And one tie. They tied against Green Bay, I think there was.
Yeah, it was a Dallas-Green Bay tie.
Green Bay had a tie. So
against the Cowboys.
Right, so that's where the one tie comes in. My point is, what if the Bears would have gotten to the Super Bowl? Do you think
no one would be talking?
Do you think people would be talking about the shitty schedule that the Chicago Bears played?
Okay, but here's my concern. And no one overvalues their team or their players more than Chicago fans in all sports. But truthfully, you cannot play pretend that this team is going to be back here in this situation again. For this upcoming season.
I'm expecting it.
Well, no, not you. I'm not referring to you. I'm just saying to the people in general. Because when they got there with Rex, they had problems getting back. When they got there with Jay for the quarterback, they had problems getting back. When Mitch took them to the promised land in the playoff, they had difficulties getting back. Fields was like Bobby Avellini. He never had a chance in hell. And now they got Williams.
Matt Nagy, his first year, was coach of the year. Ben Johnson was not.
Okay.
And now people are going to say, well, Ben Johnson's smarter than Matt Nagy. We're going to find out. And you know what? He's got a better team than what Matt Nagy had.
In all fairness, yes.
He's got all these weapons.
Is DJ Moore coming back?
I think they're using DJ Moore as a pawn to try to trade and get somebody else. But
and you made the comparison publicly, may I add, long before we ever had this program, this vlog, YouTube show, whatever you want to call it. You made the comparison to him for Keenan Allen.
I said Keenan Allen would be gone after 2 years, and he was. And now they're using because they got to pay DJ Moore big money. And here's the other thing. After this year, they're going to go into that fourth year with the quarterback situation, just like they had that fourth year with Fields. Now, Fields was terrible, but they're going to have to make a decision going, are we going to have to pay Caleb Williams $60 million?
I would pay him because he's a big reason why they got that far.
Right.
Let me play devil's advocate here. I know you and I talk about, how I want him to be better completion percentage. I want him to be better with sabermetrics, yes. But in all fairness, in football, in American gridiron football, sabermetrics are kind of pointless. It's talent. This is a talent-based game. You have to perform when you have to perform. He made a lot of plays running out of the pocket, and a big reason why is because he had to run for his life. And him playing hero ball, say what you will, him doing what he needed to do, it was ugly half of the time, yeah, but they won a division.
They won.
And they won a playoff game.
All right.
So they deal with
But
it.
they-
but
I'm saying-
they have to be better.
and
I'm not denying that.
and I don't think they're going to win more than 11 games next year. All right. Another thing while we were gone was I've been hearing a lot of, even though there was a three-peat for the Big Ten championship, we're going to make this kind of quick because we're going to talk some baseball. Three-team Big Ten championship in NCAA football. So, and we've kind of talked about this before. If you were talking about great NFL players, and you said, list your top 10 NFL players
Of all time.
of all time. Any of you viewers, I'm going to just give you a pause here. Probably off the top of your head would be Jim Brown and O.J. Simpson and Walter Payton and Dick Butkus and
Ray Nitschke.
and Peyton Manning could be on there. But the point of the whole matter was, I did a little bit of research. And again, this SEC bullshit on how great the SEC is. Because the guys we mentioned just now, we mentioned one SEC guy. And that was Peyton Manning. One. All the other guys that we just rambled off do not exist in the SEC. Okay? And I made a list since 1980. Now that's going back 46 years. Okay? I didn't go any further because I'm like, this is more embarrassing.
Well, you want to be even?
I started at 1980. Okay? And now this is 2026. 46 years. 46 years.
Okay.
Okay. The great SEC. Now, when I did this, if your guy made it in the Hall of Fame, like if a Missouri guy, and there was a Missouri guy in there, but if he didn't play in the SEC at the time that he was in the SEC, Missouri, that don't count. Okay? Oklahoma and Texas don't count.
And we'll even go a step further. The Big Ten, they now got...
And I didn't count the USC people ahead of time, and I didn't count Oregon, UCLA, like the SEC people. No, I did not count Earl Campbell, and I did not count Ricky Williams, because you know why? They didn't play in the SEC at the time those guys they won the Heisman Trophy. So what I did was, I took, in 46 years, there has been 257 inductees into the National Football Hall of Fame. 257. Do you know how many of them since 1980 to the present have been from the SEC under the guidelines that I have told you? And I almost shit my pants when I read this. 22. So where are all these great players?
Within the last 46 years, there's only 22?
Where are all these great players? The University of Pittsburgh, the University of Notre Dame, and the University of Syracuse, in that time, 3 schools, have more Hall of Fame inductees than the entire SEC football.
SEC, it just means more, right? I don't want to hear this anymore. SEC, it just means more.
I have debunked everything about the SEC that I possibly could. That's
the worst thing I think I've ever heard.
Then the next thing is, how come they don't get enshrined into the Hall of Fame?
Because they're clearly not good enough.
I think Illinois has as many Hall of Famers than most of the SEC schools. I got to go through the list.
Of all time?
Yeah, I got to go. Well, I have to go through. I would have to go through it. But once again, let that sink.
I would say Illinois certainly has the most important Hall of Famers.
Let me repeat that. Since 1980 to the present, 257 inductees into the Hall of Fame. I got the lists. Only 22 of them have come from the SEC.
That's nothing.
Once again, Pittsburgh, Notre Dame, and Syracuse, 3 schools, have more inductees than the entire conference of the SEC. So, wanted to get that off my chest. I had a list of Baseball Hall of Fame stuff. My co-host is going to go into this stuff real quick.
How much of this do you have? Because we had difficulty. You had difficulty finding.
I had some stuff about guys that were on the 15-year ballot. I got to find it. How long it took to go, but you want to go on a certain individual.
Well,
so you go right ahead.
I don't really have. This is me. This. What I'm going to say here. This speaks for me. I'm going to say here. This is an opinion. This is not necessarily a factoid or a definitive, thing. It's more of just how I feel on a certain particular topic. So with the Baseball Hall of Fame voting process, they don't want steroid users in the Hall of Fame, and that's an entire conversation for a different day here for, on this platform anyway. But yet, what my problem is, they don't want steroid users in. That's fine. That's their opinion. But yet, why are the coaches in the Hall of Fame who benefited off the steroid players in? Why is the commissioner who benefited off of making money and generating revenue off of the said steroid players, he's in the Hall of Fame? And more importantly right now, Andy Pettitte, who has 256 wins as a starting pitcher, altogether in professional baseball, he's more predominantly known as Andy Pettitte, the World Series champion with the New York Yankees in the 2000s and late 1990s. That's all well and well. But Andy Pettitte, out of all the steroid guys, he's the only one that we know for sure did steroids, and he's also the only one that we know of for sure that everyone wants to vote for because, he got caught and he said he's sorry and he said he got caught. Let's all vote for him. Okay, well, when people vote, this is just how I see. When people vote for Bonds and Clemens, when they voted for them back in the day, a few years ago, and then they gave them all these votes, and the following year they put in Buck O'Neil, who should have been in long before. They put in Gil Hodges, who should have been in long before. They put in all these old, great, legendary, old-timey baseball players. That seems more to where it's like, okay, hey, we're going to vote for Bonds and Clemens as a joke, and then the following year, we're going to pull the carpet out from under them. So, basically, my point being, you're not voting for these people genuinely because you don't like them, because you feel that they cheated, but you're going to vote for a actively known cheater only because you like the guy. You should have your Hall of Fame vote taken away from you. That's all I got to say about that.
Okay, but
thank you.
Okay,
that's all I got to say about that.
Okay, Andy Pettitte's not in.
I know.
He may never get in.
I know.
So you cannot.
But if you're gonna vote, you got to do it legitimately. You can't say, I'm going to vote for this guy because I like him. Or, if you're a Hall of Fame voter, you got to take it seriously.
Okay. Well,
very few people have that opportunity.
Okay. Well, hopefully, and I'm going to put a lid on this, hopefully, to be consistent, none of those guys get in.
Because there's people who got in that are suspected, but they were never suspended for steroids.
But what I'm saying is,
when they played.
Okay, but what I'm saying, the current list of the people, the obvious ones, Bonds, McGuire, Sosa, Palmeiro, Pettitte, Clemens, if none of them ever get in, it is consistent and there's no argument. If one of them leaks through and gets in, then there's the argument. But right now, none of them are in. And every year they're still on the ballot. You can't take them off the ballot.
Because when people say Barry Bonds' name, there's a stigma with it. When people say Roger Clemens' name, there's an aura around it. When people say Andy Pettitte, it's like, he said he's sorry, let's vote for him. No.
Well, I'm pretty sure Andy Pettitte's not going to get in with the writers' ballot. Because I think there's this
He'll get in on if he were to, he'd be. You are correct. He would be voted upon on a different Hall of Fame.
And there's that second chance ballot, which is called the contemporary. I wrote it down here. Contemporary baseball era ballot. Okay, and that means if you played in like from 1980 until now, and you didn't get in, and this group of individuals, there's a group of 8, I believe, and they alternate every year. They get to pick, and that's how Jeff Kent got in. Yes, Jeff Kent got elected to the Hall of Fame.
Why do they have to be so secretive about it? It's a baseball Hall of Fame vote. It's a yes or no question.
Okay, so
it's a baseball Hall of Fame vote. That's all it is.
Those guys are in, and they will get inducted in, I believe it's July for the induction ceremony. Major League Baseball preseason games started today. So we are now gearing to the baseball season. The Cubs and the Sox
had a game today.
PECOTA, and that's an acronym for something. I don't believe in it. Well,
you believe in it more than I do.
Well, I have to believe in it this year. Okay, because I can't say I can't believe in it and think it's garbage. Because the PECOTA rankings have the Chicago White Sox winning more games than the St. Louis Cardinals. So I have to support that. Okay? Because anytime that
the Cardinals really get predicted to be that bad?
Anytime that the Cardinals can get shit on, I'm all in favor of that. Okay? According to PECOTA, they were going to win 66 games, and the White Sox were going to win 69. And the Cubs are predicted to win 89 and win the division.
So are the Cardinals in danger of losing 100 games?
Well, 66 and
that's like
96.
That's like 1 week worth of games.
66 and 96 is 180 yeah.
So the Cardinals are in danger of losing 90 or more games from what I'm...
Yes.
Wow.
So, but then all of a sudden I'm hearing from my Cardinal fans is, well, they suck, we don't follow them anyway.
Well, that is true, in all honesty.
But again...
They don't follow them when they're bad.
But then again, as a Cardinal fan, you are only there as a front runner. So you're not a fan.
We went to the game against the Pirates. We got free baseball tickets.
Okay. So you're not a fan.
And there was nobody there.
Okay.
And they were booing the whole game. It was against the Pirates.
Cub fans go win or lose. Now, granted, going to Wrigley Field is much greater than going to Busch Stadium. It's an event, and a lot of people, even during a pennant race, don't even know what the score is. I understand that. But people go. Okay? The same loyal White Sox fans go, even when they're losing 100 games.
3 years consecutively.
Okay? The wheels fell off the cart last year in St. Louis, and nobody was going to their games. Now, if they're even shittier than they were last year, even less people are going to go. That's being hypocrites.
Well, that is.
You're not a St. Louis Cardinal baseball fan.
No, but when I was a kid growing, I can't speak for you, but when I was a kid growing up, not too far from the St. Louis, Missouri area, the entire gimmick was, it's St. Louis, it's baseball heaven, it's St. Louis, it's the greatest baseball, most knowledgeable baseball fans in the world. And it's like, well, if that's what it is when your team struggle. See, because they're more than happy to tell everyone about the 11 World Series championship teams that they've had. But they don't talk about the teams that lost in the World Series. They don't talk about the teams that came up short. They don't talk about the seasons where they didn't have success in the ways how they thought. They don't talk about that.
It's nearing almost 20 years.
Almost.
Since the Cardinals' last World Series championship.
Yeah, almost. Almost, yes.
And okay, go to opening day and watch the Clydesdales and watch the guys on the convertibles come with their red jackets. Ha ha ha. And that'll be, opening day might be the biggest attendance there is.
It's funny you say that because the other day I spoke to a season ticket holder and he told me that they might have the lowest attendance for an opening day at St. Louis in a very long time. Because didn't they trade everybody? Wilson Contreras, gone. Nolan Arenado, gone.
No, Wilson Contreras is still there.
No, Wilson
No.
Contreras got traded to Boston.
Boston. Yeah.
Nolan Arenado, didn't he get traded?
Yeah.
And they gave up a lot to get these people.
And the great, Dylan Carlson, he's gone.
Is Donovan still there at second?
No, I'm sorry, Donovan's gone. Dylan Carlson, who everybody slurped, you know what? He played today in a spring training game. He's in a Cub uniform. Now, he's not going to beat out Nico Horner.
Oh, no. But he's in a Cub uniform.
He's in a Cub uniform. And now the thing is, well, he sucked anyways, the Cardinal. No, he didn't. When he was in a Cardinal uniform, he was good. I heard he was good.
Where's Goldschmidt playing?
He's with the Yankees.
And he'll finish off his career there.
Okay. But I don't believe in these analytics and all that. But when I saw that the PECOTA rankings had the Chicago White Sox, who have lost 100 games in 3 consecutive seasons, are predicted to have more wins. And it's a balanced schedule, so you can't say they just play in the American League. It's a balanced schedule that they are going to have more wins than St. Louis Cardinals. That's music to my ears.
I can't even believe that. I mean, I can, now that we've just had this conversation. But
And the Cardinals are picked to be dead last in the Central.
somebody told me that the Pirates are predicted to finish in third.
Third, right at 80 and 82. 80 wins.
Do they have the team to finish in third place? I'm not trying to downplay him.
They're banking on this kid, the 19-year-old shortstop. Okay?
Can he carry them? The problem.
And then they picked up a couple of bats. Okay? And I'm not going anywhere else. I'm not going to go anywhere else because that's an argument I'm ever going to win. Okay? I think from an athletic standpoint, their pitching is very good, but I'm not going there because you just hate Skeens, and no matter what he does,
I hate him. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I have very strong opinions about Paul Skeens as a person. Yeah, I do, because you know what, he
don't editorialize. Okay, but
I know I got some strong opinions with that. Yeah, I do.
But from a standpoint of arms and pitching in the major leagues, their pitching staff is their starting 4 might be as good as the Cubs, because we don't know. Cubs don't know who to. They just said today on the game that Steele may not come back until they call it June-ish, which means July.
That's nearing the All-Star break.
Okay, so now you got to make sure that Imanaga and Taillon and Horton stay healthy. And a hush came over the air here, and those 3 got to stay healthy.
Oh yeah, big time.
I'm not sold on the Bregman contract.
Continue.
I am not sold on the amount of money that Bregman is making for the production that he's going to give.
And your reasoning, is it because he missed how many games last season?
Well, he only played 115 games last season, but the last 3 years, other than, and I know you're Mr. Moral Majority, but you know what? He cheated.
He was on a team that cheated, yes.
And he was a cheater. He was one of the cheaters.
Yeah, that is true, yes.
Okay?
He was one of the faces of that entire team.
And his most productive offensive statistical year
when he knew
was the year that they cheated.
It wasn't that they cheated, it was that they knew what pitch was going to be thrown to them. That's what made it bad.
But that was the cheating.
Well, I know. But it's easy to get on base when you know exactly what pitch is going to be thrown to you.
And his offensive statistics have been, the last 3 years, Ian Happ. And if you've watched this show, Ian Happ has pedestrian numbers.
I like Ian Happ.
18 homers, 68 RBIs,
a gold
glove. Okay, Bregman might do that too. Bregman might win a gold glove at third. He might hit 18 home runs.
But truthfully, and we've argued with this, but we both come to agreement with this, they didn't really need a third baseman. They already had one. Did they need more offensive help? Yeah. But Matt Shaw was playing decent third base. And now we saw Seiya Suzuki in center field, and he looked scared for his life.
Well, he's not going to play center because
Well-
we have.
Pete Crow Armstrong. But and I want to talk about him in a minute here. But we had the argument of, and I think about it too, because Seiya played a lot of DH last year. Does that hinder his everyday attributes of playing his position?
When you don't play the field, it hurts you at the plate.
Okay. Well, it might hurt you in the field too.
Well, you're not playing the field.
Yeah, that's my point. He's a little rusty here and there. But in all fairness, fine. You want Seiya Suzuki to play DH? Fine. In my opinion, that's all that he should do. In my opinion, because off of this team, who's going to play DH other than him?
Ballesteros is going to be the DH. He is already. I've seen an opening day starting lineup. Ballesteros is going to be the opening day designated hitter.
They already said or was it a projection or was it a guarantee?
No, it was the prediction of what opening day is
Okay.
going to be.
So who's
Suzuki and Wright,
Okay.
Crow Armstrong, Happ, Bregman, Swanson, Happ, or Nico Horner,
Bush at first.
Bush, Amaya, and whoever, and Shaw on the bench, and Ballesteros is the designated.
that's okay. That's a serviceable opening day.
But I'm going to say this because we're getting close to wrapping things up. And I don't want to rile things up anyway, if Bush and Crow Armstrong do not have the offensive numbers that they had last year, the Cubs will not win 90 games.
No, that is true. That they were a home run hitting team. Their pitching was not very good. Their pitchers last year, 12 of them were negative WAR on the mound. They were a home run hit. They relied on one thing: home runs. That's it.
And
That's
again,
it.
and again, if I'm going to make the Caleb Williams analogy here, then I'm going to shut up. Everybody goes, well, Caleb Williams has only been in the NFL in 2 years. He's going to be better next year.
When you're a team,
Is Pete Crow Armstrong
he's not going to have the 30.
going to be a better offensive player than he was last year?
Oh, that scares me more than the Caleb Williams thing, because I could see the Cubs letting him try to get more bases, stolen bases. And it was a pain for him to get to 30-30.
But he's got to get on base.
Well, and he can't hit left-handed pitching.
Well, if Matt Shaw is on the bench, Matt Shaw might find his way in the lineup.
I'm not sold on this.
And then all of a sudden, Crow Armstrong is on the bench against left-handed hitters. And then all of a sudden, Crow Armstrong's offensive numbers go in the tank.
See, I'm not sold on Matt Shaw playing the outfield. I'm not sold on Matt Shaw being a bench, like 6-man type of player.
The Cubs made a mistake in giving Bregman $37.5 million. Bregman is the highest annual salary that the Cubs have. Swanson's contract is the largest, but annual salary, Bregman, $37.5 million.
And Bregman, is he over 30 years old?
He's 33 years old. 4-year contract. He'll be 37 when his contract is done.
Can he be productive in 35, 36 years old?
We're going to find out if he's productive at 33.
I'm not even talking about at the end of the contract. I'm talking about in the beginning and in the middle.
I'm talking about this year at 33.
They're going to have to rely on Matt Shaw a lot more than they want to admit. And they didn't want to play Matt Shaw at all last year, and he was the only third baseman that they had in this entire program. It top to bottom, from single A all the way up to the MLB. He was the only third baseman that they had.
Because you passed on giving, and this is going back, you passed on giving Bellinger $37 million, and Bellinger signed for a hell of a lot less with the Yankees.
And you should have paid Bellinger.
Okay? You never even threw $37 million at Tucker to even attempt to re-sign him. Now, whether you were or you weren't. But he got 60 with the Dodgers.
And I'll go a step further. You didn't even attempt to pay Kyle Schwarber.
Okay. I don't think Kyle Schwarber's getting $37 million with the Philadelphia Phillies.
Not on this current contract, because I think they restructured it.
But you wasted no time to give a 33-year-old third baseman, who the Cubs had a third baseman that you invested in the minor leagues, and now you're going to platoon him for
a guy for 5 years.
For pedestrian offensive numbers, for a...
Okay, but Brett, let's say it, and I know that Bregman has made some good plays at third base. He's not was it Brooks Robinson? Frank?
He's not Brooks Robinson.
No, because I get him confused. I get Brooks confused with Frank.
Brooks
That's
is the
why.
third baseman. Yes.
Thank you. Sorry, but I know Bregman has made some decent plays in third base, but he's not Brooks Robinson. And my point being, Matt Shaw had problems, but Matt Shaw had no problems defensively. Bregman is only here to hit the baseball and get on base and score runs. If he doesn't do that, that's the only reason why he's here. If he doesn't do that, they got problems. I know.
I have to look on when we get done here. I got to see what Matt Shaw's statistical numbers were last year for the amount of games he played at third base. I think he had double-digit home runs. I think he had 14, maybe 12 or 14. If Bregman only hits 15 or 16 for $37.5 million, that was not productive. But the Cubs were playing today against the White Sox. They were losing in this. They were, again, it's spring training.
It was the first spring training game.
But Taillon did not look good against minor leaguers that the Sox had. Okay. And
the Sox, you think the Sox are going to be good? I hope they'll be good in the American
Sox
League.
will not lose 100 games this year. I don't know if you want to say that's good or bad. I don't know, because I don't know sometimes what is good or bad. But to me, if you've lost 100 games 3 years in a row and you don't lose 100 the following year now,
that is an improvement.
Then you are better, and that's what I'm going to live on. That's my point. Okay, I'm going with my point. I'm going directly to my point. Okay, so what do we got here? 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock? I'm getting
almost an hour of show. We're nearing 50 minutes.
All right. Well,
47 minutes and 11 seconds.
Well, jump on the viewership. We're hoping we're getting a little more knowledgeable, that maybe we might be audio out there and throw that stuff out down the road. But keep viewing us on YouTube. Okay. You got anything else?
Not really. Support your teams. Want to have a fantasy baseball draft? Everybody out there, I don't know, take care of your fantasy baseball teams. I don't really have a whole lot to say, really.
All right, Selection Sunday, I think, is in 3 weeks for NCAA.
The Olympics are going on. Team USA got a gold medal for hockey, women's hockey.
Except the coaches. I read this. I didn't know this. They only give medals to the players. The head coach.
There's nothing wrong with that.
Doesn't get on.
I don't think there's anything wrong with that.
Okay.
In my opinion.
All right.
Well, I mean, you didn't play the game. You coached. It's like, I forgot also, Hillary Knight. Hillary Knight's got more points and goals of any women's USA.
All right.
But.
All right,
that's all really all I gotta.
All right. Hopefully we didn't botch this up too much, and we are keep looking for us. This is a Hey Sports Chicago.
Signing off.
All right.
Take care.